But I like to
Mm.
go beneath that into the bottom layer of the cake,
Yeah.
which is the layer of the archetypes. And the layer of the archetypes doesn't put a judgment on it, but observes and finds the archetype that corresponds to that behavior. So in my case, you would say my warrior is
Mm.
very active, or in astrological terms, which is again, an archetypal language, as we'll see in a little bit, maybe. My Mars is very active. I have a very active Mars. Now that's
Mm.
neutral. Now, what I do with that very active, see, now there's possibilities. Now we can say, okay, well, what do I do with that angry Mars? I scream at people all day long with that active Mars, not with that angry Mars. But I could also say, well, rather than screaming at people all day long, I could go work out at the gym or do that 20-mile run you told me, asked me about, those kinds of things. That's a
A different
different
way
way
of
of
saying it's
explaining
going back to essence. One thing I would say is that often, I don't know, I guess there's stereotyping, isn't there? And it can be seen as Mars anger in a negative light sometimes. But I remember reading somewhere, I think it was Thomas More said, just to write something takes Mars energy, to
Absolutely.
express yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we have these cultural stereotypes. We have other ones like boys don't have feelings and girls don't get angry and those kinds of things. So here's a great quote for Mars from one of my books. I have a collection of different statements, but here's one that right up the alley of what you just said. This is from Duke Ellington, trumpet player.
Right.
And he wrote, this is in my Mars chapter, so it's a Mars statement. It's like an act of murder. You play with intent to commit something. What a fabulous martial statement. It doesn't mean it has to be violence or anger. It's still that energy of Mars. Defending those who can't defend themselves, hitting a target, being focused with your energy, going for something, hitting a goal. All those things are Mars.
Being courageous.
Being courageous, standing up for something you believe in. All of that is Mars too. Limiting it to
Mm.
anger is incredibly limited.